Good morning, everybody. I'm sitting here laughing so hard because today is a special live broadcast, as they're always special, but it's about using oracle cards as a tool for tuning into your intuition and for getting guidance, of course. But I have here this stack of just some of the oracle cards I have, and I'm not crazy about buying them all, but people give them to me. This is only part of my stash of oracle cards, and I keep a few beside me in a basket by my meditation chair. And every once in a while, I'll get this nudge from my guide, Sanaya, pull a card. And then I'll look at the basket and I'll know exactly which set to use, and I'll pull a card and use that as I'm going to share with you to receive a message or to tell me what I need to hear in the moment. So I'm sitting here getting ready for the show, and there's always this buildup of anticipation. I've already attuned to Sanaya. I asked them to step in, and I'm doing my best to just be calm because I get excited when I get to talk with all of you. But I have to tell you, I'm here with my good friend, Patty Horn. She's visiting with her husband, Charlie, from Arizona. We're in Idaho for the summer. And she's joining me here in the studio, which is really my meditation room. And so we kind of did an invocation together. I said, Patty, bring me good energy. So I was a minute early. So I had a moment. I'm sitting here feeling okay, let's be calm. And I looked over at Patty and I said, this is totally unscripted. It always is. I just let Sanaya speak through me. And just then I glanced down and Sanaya said, pull a card for you, Suzanne, for the show. And I thought, oh, this will be fun because we had 30 seconds to go. So I have my favorite deck here of they're called Osho Zen cards. I use them when I teach this class about using oracle cards. So I always tune in, how am I supposed to pull a card? And we'll talk about this in a minute. Off the top, do I shuffle? And they said, no, just pull the half the deck up. So I just lifted off the deck. I pulled the half the deck and I turned it over. And the card is the Fool. And my initial thought was, Suzanne, you're a fool for going on and talking about this topic right off the bat with no script. And see, this is why cards are the perfect tool for guidance and intuition, because they show us the difference between our human reaction and using them as an intuitive tool and a way to connect to higher guidance, because our brains go to what's called the default mode network. And the default network for all of us is human mode. It's human. So the human sees fool, and my initial automatic program response is, you're about to make a fool out of yourself. But the thing is, there is a greater aspect of all of us. And when we notice the default mode network at work, and we say, is that really what this card is saying? Or is that my human side? And we stop and we pause, and now we look at what's really on the card. And what we have is this character stepping off a cliff. And I'm going to have to use my glasses for this. And this is what I'm asking all of you to do. No matter what cards you're looking at, or whatever ones you're using, look at all the elements of the card. So here we have, the Fool is actually the main character in the tarot deck. And the Fool is representative of all of us. It's a character that goes off to live the cycle of life, to go on an adventure, and you're going to encounter challenges, and you're going to encounter beautiful things and wise people and dangerous things. That's life, love, and full expression. And are we foolish to go out like that? Or are we like this guy here, stepping off a cliff into the unknown? And above him are all the stars, and there's the moon, which to me, as I tune into this now intuitively, beyond the pattern, I see is representative of the whole universe and all the stars that are guiding us at all times, available for us to tune into for guidance, the greater reality. And there are soft clouds here, all soft clouds, that I feel like is this soft blanket that's going to catch us when we step off that cliff into the unknown. And below it are beautiful mountains and colors representing the fullness of all that awaits us. And so as I tune into that from the soul with my guides listening, I am that character that says, I'm willing to step into the unknown for this show today. And every time I do this show, unscripted, just like I said to Patty, and knowing, trusting that the greater reality sees the wholeness, the bigger picture, and it's going to be awesome. So that's why I was laughing so hard, because it was the perfect card for this moment and this program today to show you. My initial reaction was human. Oh my God, I'm about to make a fool out of myself. And then I could see in one burst what that card was telling me. And I had to wait the 30 seconds for the show to start to share with you what the soul turned that into, a lesson for all of us. Isn't that perfect? Now, my challenge is I want to go frame this now because that was a moment. But my goal for you with this program today is to use oracle cards for moment after moment after moment like that, where when you use the cards and as you use them as a tool to use your own inner guidance to tell you what it means for you in that moment, you'll come to see how they carry over into your daily life of, oh, I just responded in human mode. My default mode network is at play here in my nervous system, causing me, something's triggering me. Now I'm going to human. I'm forgetting that I'm a soul. But wait, stop. What's the bigger picture here in the wholeness of this experience that just triggered me? See, now I've taken just one moment of using the cards on a regular basis to how does this play out in my daily life? This is life. We're both human and souls tapping in at any time to this greater reality that we're part of, with guidance from guides who are here helping me with these words right now, and guidance from our loved ones across the veil who are always around you, because it's all the one light of consciousness. How about that? So I want to pause for a second, because now we're going to get into the real teaching about how to use cards, but I have to acknowledge something off topic. Yesterday was my birthday, and I was so beautifully overwhelmed with all the love that came in. My phone started blowing up first thing in the morning. Every time I looked, I had 50 texts, even though I was clearing them out. My inbox blew up from personal emails, and I just feel so blessed to have so many friends all over the world, not just in the US, and this Awaken Way community that knows it's all about connection and love. And I'm just so honored and humbled to receive all that love from everybody. And I will tell you, it was the big birthday here. I remember when I turned 50, I did a channeling session where I lived in the Villages, Florida. I was not old enough to live in a 55 and older community, but I did. Ty was old enough. And I remember sitting in front of 200 people to channel, and I said, it's my 50th birthday. That's kind of strange. And I got zero sympathy from everybody in that 55 and older community. None. But that was 15 years ago. So yesterday was the big 65. And I love seeing the trajectory of finding peace, thanks from living the awakened way, that I just think it's the greatest thing in the world. I don't think it's awful. I'm not crazy about the way your skin starts reacting when you turn 64, but I've learned that everything, even wrinkles, are an opportunity to accept being on this journey of the fool through life, right? And just embracing it all. I find this a time of great peace and contentment like I have never known, because I found that peace within. And that's my journey to share with all of you, to get to that place. If you're 50, 65, 80, or 30, goodness knows we can all use some tools to find peace. And so the cards that we're going to talk to today are but one tool. And so this is one of the many presents from my wonderful husband, Ty, a new blouse. Isn't it pretty? He's such a good guy. So anyway, Let me see. I was just saying about the cards as a tool, the many tools. Oh, yes. So if you read my book, Making the Afterlife Connection, I give a whole lesson in there how I was drawn to use tarot cards simply for my own guidance. I have not studied tarot. I may have a book or two, but I usually get one chapter in and lose interest. So clearly, tarot is not my path, but I love using them in the way I'm going to share with you. So everything I share with you is not necessarily about tarot. It's about any card that can be used, not a deck of cards, but cards where you have at least 25 to 50 or more cards from which to select, and they're going to tell a story to you, give you meaning. And the guys just corrected me. They said they don't give you meaning. Meaning arises from within, from your connection with higher consciousness. And this is why the cards are such a great tool for mediumship, for psychic work, for tuning and training your intuition. Because there are two ways to use a card. You can look at there. Can I say that? Yes, the wrong way and the right way. Wow, they're letting me be very specific about that. The wrong way is to read a card at face value, to look at it and say, that says the fool, I must be a fool. But the right way, and the guide said, now you can use the term the better way, the more helpful way, is to look at it and say, that may be the, okay, all right. They said instead of wrong or right, say literal or what's the opposite of literal? Symbolic. Symbolic. Okay. We can use them literally, in which case it's never going to change. That card will always have the same meaning. But symbolically requires us to be quiet for a moment, to get settled and centered and take on board everything held within the card, the word, if it has a word, or just the images, and then feel what wants to arise. And this is where the training comes in from using oracle cards, the training for tapping into higher consciousness. It does not already exist in some library, some Akashic records. It arises in the moment from the perfect confluence of what is present now. And the present moment is always changing. It's dynamic. You're different from a moment ago. So you could pull a card an hour earlier and pull it now, and the symbolic meaning might even be different depending on what has changed in the web of consciousness that you are part of in just that last hour. So, how do we use cards? If you only have one deck, use that deck. If you have several, you start right away by tuning in intuitively. First of all, set your intention. Why are you using the cards? To see what meaning, what message wants to arise from the greater wholeness we're all a part of, from the sea of consciousness in this moment by pulling a card. That's the overall intention that I suggest you take anytime you use a card. I love that wording, don't you? Wants to arise. It's a feeling that just has to be expressed, and you'll know it when you tune into it. It's just here. So then the second thing is if you have several decks, you start by saying which deck wants to be used. Notice the wording, not which deck do I pick? No, you let the cards speak to you. Now, the cards are not sentient. They're tools of higher consciousnness, which is very sentient, knowing, aware. It's awareness itself, this field of which we're part. So as I look at this huge deck here, okay, great. I just got snagged. It's a knowing. It's a magnetic pull. Woo, got the goosebumps. I'm pulled immediately to the one on the top. This is a deck called the Spirit Within Speaks. It was created by the wonderful Mavis Patilla, who has passed. And she wrote every one of these cards while tuning into her guide across the veil. Beautiful spirit. And I can't remember her name right now, what she called that spirit. It's in my book, Droplets of God. I wrote Mavis's bio. She was my mentor. Wonderful, fabulous medium. So these cards are no longer available, but Mavis's wife, Jean, is recreating them because people keep asking, when can I get them? When can I get them? When they're available, I'll let you know. But I was snagged by this of all of them. So how you use a card is holding that intention that whatever I'm supposed to hear now will arise. We don't even need a booklet that comes with cards. That's fun to look at later to see what the literal meaning of the card is. But we want what arises in the moment. So here are these cards. They're shaped differently than most cards. They're rectangular, different colors. Everyone will have different meanings. So what I recommend you do here is the second step of tuning in intuitively as you go. You tune in and you ask higher consciousness. Now, who am I asking? Sanaya, joy, source, my soul? It doesn't matter. It's all the wholeness. So we simply ask spirit with a capital S, something, I was going to say, yeah, more vast than your awareness now. So the most open aspect of higher consciousness you can access. Do I shuffle the cards now? Do I just cut the deck? Or do I just pull one? See, so right away, you're being guided every step. It never becomes rote. And so I'm being told right now, shuffle a bit so that the audience knows this is not planned. That would be you. And so right away, I'm being guided. And I was just guided, pull the one on the top. I was thinking I was going to spread it out and be pulled to one, but they said, no, that's the one. They being my guide, Sanaya, who are clearly leading this show right now. So we turn it over, and this is why it's fun. There's always that feeling of anticipation. What's it going to be? How cool is it going to be? I have so many cards. I've never seen all of them. To this day, I get new cards all the time. I didn't know there was a Fool in that other deck. Still laughing about that one. So you ready? Do you feel the anticipation? And I definitely need my glasses for this one. They're beautiful. These have a beautiful feel, every one of them. And they always start with, I am the spirit within. So these are great cards for helping us realize this is what makes guidance available. We all have this spirit within because it is us. And the message is for all of us, Spirit says, I am not physical nor matter. I am of that divine creation. And we experience this journey together. See, could that be more perfect for right here, right now? Goosebumps galore. That's from the group. All of us. These cards are not all about the journey together. They're all, okay, God, Spirit says, pull another one so that you see they're not all like that. So then I was told, just cut it in half and pull the top one. So the next one says, I am the spirit within. When disappointment breaks your dreams, I am there to uplift you. Beautiful message, but see, it wouldn't have been perfect for that first card I drew, which was perfect. They told me to draw this one because it would be the perfect example of how the previous one was perfect for the group. You see, it's getting a little convoluted now, but that's how it works. So now the guides say they want me to pull another one, and we'll bring some of you on. I can see 3 of you in the studio waiting to come on screen. So beautiful. Hopefully you have a question about the topic at hand. What I might do is go back and see in the booklet that Mavis wrote what each of those cards actually says and compare it with what I discern from that card. So that's something you do later. But I'd really like you to train yourself to not rely on what the card is supposed to mean. That's the whole point, for the fun of it. So my guides are saying go back to this deck here and just once again, okay. They're saying we're going to pull one that applies to the majority of you here. And the reason we're pulling one this time is to show how looking at all the elements on the card create a story. But we don't just let the left hemisphere of the brain run off and create a story as it will. We repeatedly return our awareness to the heart and the hara. We get out of the head that wants to think, what does this mean? We drop down into the heart where we can truly feel the emotions that come with this, but we anchor the story in the belly. Each moment, as we look at each element coming together as a whole, the story arises from that wholeness. Can you feel how this will give you an outstanding opportunity to train not creating stories with what you sense in meditation, but actually receiving guidance from higher consciousness as it arises from the wholeness of the field, not from here? This is coming out so much better than I anticipated, because I thought, how is this show going to go today? And it's just, I love spirit. Okay, so they're telling me in this case, we're just going to fan it out. And I look at the cards right now. Does it look twitch? I just tune in with my wholeness. What is the perfect card for this lesson? And seeing all the elements and letting spirit show the story. I feel myself drawn to these two, and I'm still discerning which of these two is it. It's training to not think it's that one. It's to know. So they want me to pull both, knowing it's the one on the right, but then showing you the one on the left would not have been as perfect. This is advanced. I have never done this before. So I'm pulling those two out. I'm setting the one on the left aside. Patty is my witness. Setting the deck down. This is the one that I was drawn to for all of us. And so my means right off the bat, my human default mode says, I don't know why this card is important. There's a moment of fear. What if it's not the perfect card? But we're going to look and see why it is the perfect card. Oh, and I just got it. It just arose. The word is compromise. Oh my God, this is so perfect. And you see two characters. They look like samurai or sumo wrestlers. Japanese. That's funny because I just went to Japan last month. But they're in ornate costumes. There's nothing fancy around them like the last card. And their arms are touching and their little pinky fingers are touching. I think you can see it if you zoom in there. But they both are scowling. So there's a whole energy about this card. And now as I feel into why is this the perfect card, but I already got it in a burst in that moment when I went, oh, I get it. We have people from all over the world here tuning in right now and in the future as you watch this video. And everybody's going through their own personal issues. But as humanity, what's missing is we all think we're separate beings. And until and unless we can learn to compromise and see that we're actually connected and find that point of connection, we will continue to scowl and feel separate. One of the most common questions that comes up for me in this spiritual work is, there's so much chaos in the world. I read the news, the world is going to hell. What do I do? How can we solve this? We solve it by remembering we're all one, that we may appear separate, but only when we put each other in each other's shoes. Guy said, look at their shoes. I don't think they have shoes on. Yeah, they're barefooted. No shoes. No shoes, no story. Put each other in the other's situation and then find the commonality. And that compromise is going to lead to peace. So there could not be a more universal for humanity message than that card. How interesting is that? So usually, oh, I get it. Yeah, perfect. Usually we use the cards for our own personal lesson. But I specifically said, I need a card for everybody tuning in. So we got a lesson for humanity there. But it's also an individual lesson, isn't it? Now we're going to see why the next one, it's still going to be good. There will always be a story, the one that I set aside but was drawn to, but that would be the secondary one. Huh. And this one is innocence. And it shows a wise, I don't know why I feel he's a wise man, just because he's older. See, we get older and wiser. That's the belief anyway. And he's in a beautiful setting with pretty trees, and he has a grasshopper on his finger. How many of you remember the show with the guy that was a storyteller, and he would always talk about grasshopper? And Confucius says, I can't remember the show, it's not important, but I feel that that's triggering a memory in me, because when we look at nature, Spirit says wisdom will arise. But it's this card is not triggering me any right now the perfect message for all of us. I could tune in, but the lesson was, the first one was what we were supposed to tune into. So there are two ways that are helpful to use the cards. One is for guidance in your life. What's going on in my moment now? What do I need to know? Spirit, draw me to the perfect card for this specific issue I'm dealing with in my life. Or just general. What do I need to know now? And it's just so much fun to see how it applies to what's going on with you. And then, of course, just as a regular practice, as intuitive training. The reason I love the cards so much, and I know they're a tool of Spirit, is if you will go to my book, Making the Afterlife Connection, and read the phenomenal experience I had with being told I would draw a specific card, the Emperor, and I did, out of 78 cards in the deck. And it just stunned me. How did that happen? And set it aside for a few months, and then I was told to draw that same card again. And I experienced doubt. Oh no, what if I draw the wrong card? What if it's not that? Will that take away all the magic of what happened the first time? And I drew a card, and it wasn't that card. And then Spirit said, but look at the card. And it was the perfect card. It was a character lying on a bed with 7 swords hanging over it, or 7 or 9 swords. And it was, this is how we live life when we don't trust Spirit. In fear, not comfortable, feeling like there's the dagger's going to fall at any time. And Spirit told me, what was the difference between the first time and this time? The first time, there was that knowing, oh my God, I'm going to pull that card. I just knew it would happen. And I did. That came from Spirit. The second time, my human side got in the way, and I pulled still the perfect card, but not the one. And in that moment, the lesson for all of us was, I knew if I was able to harness that total trust that this is all Spirit, that when it serves a lesson and growth, the perfect card will always appear. I knew that because these cards, like Mavis's card, state truth. This world is not physical. It's not matter. We're tapping in to source beyond physical. So the perfect card you need will come up. It's like quantum physics, where nothing's created until the moment when we observe it with consciousness. So this really makes you wonder, are those cards really printed on the other side? Or does the printing come up the moment we turn it over? That's deep. But in that moment, I knew I was going to turn over that Emperor card when I had learned to totally trust Spirit, even though there are 78 cards and I had just pulled the one with the daggers. And with that fullness of Spirit arising from within, I reached down with a knowing and I turned it over. And it was the Emperor. Unbelievable. And yet, as you continue this fool's journey that we're all part of, you come to know that is how it works, because we are given exactly what we need in every moment. And in that moment, I say it in the book, and I say it in all truthfulness, I looked at that card and I said, holy shit. I was so stunned, but I shared that expletive with you because the moment I said that, Spirit said, no, holy shift. And it is that shift that will change your life. And the shift is moving beyond the default mode of being in this human body and feeling constricted and separate and miserable, to widening the lens of perception, to opening your awareness to the point where you say, I am this spirit within. That's the shift that will change your life. And it has changed my life over the last 15 years. And just this little practice of using cards can lead you to those moments. So when you pull a card, make that holy shift, okay? And widen the lens and say, what wants to arise now? Wow. All right. That was our talk, the unscripted talk, where we on these Always Connected shows where we talk about, a certain topic. This week using oracle cards as a tool. Now we're going to move on to Let's Talk with Spirit. Some of you are waiting in the studio. I'm going to bring you on camera. Hopefully you're ready for that. Please ask a very brief question about the topic at hand, and we'll see how Spirit answers. And then later we're going to come back and do our wild card moment. Oh, how funny, right? We're talking about cards and it's the wild card moment. I can already see what Spirit's going to do for our wild card moment today. Not planned ever. So we have enough people in the waiting room. I can see that I don't need to invite anybody else to come in. Krista, you've been waiting the longest time. You're all smiley. I can see you in the background. Welcome to the show.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Absolutely. What's your question for Spirit?
Birthday.
Oh, thank you. I'll milk it for the whole month.
Yes, of course. I'll be transparent. I don't have a question.
Okay.
But I have my oracle cards. And I previously I didn't know how to use them. So I have no training, but I was gifted 2 different decks. And a few times I pulled a card out of this deck. It's he's a medium, a Mi'kmaq native medium out of Canada. And it's beautiful. And it's a lot of earth and nature things that have to do with native ceremonies. So I was really drawn to this deck. And a few times I pulled cards that really resonated with what was going on. Yep. So that was great. Like the Eagle's my favorite. Okay. And at times where I really needed help, I would always draw the eagle. And I would think it's just too good to be true. Well, it wasn't, because, when I was in the deepest parts of my life, I'm like, please help me, Spirit. I got the eagle. Okay. And then when my mother-in-law passed, I was gifted her deck of angel cards.
That's special.
And I always believed in angels, but
very similar. Yeah.
Yes.
So, Krista, we really can't share real long stories because I have so many people waiting. Can you get to the point?
Yes. But I had no idea what angels had to do with us, like people on earth. How is it relevant to me, angels? And I followed your teachings and read your book, and I decided I'm going to pull 3 cards. After watching on your gifts section of your website, I saw the channeling of Archangel Michael, and he said he would come to all those who believe. So I said, I believe. Please show me that you can come to me, like as a little, person on the earth, me. And I drew three cards. I wanted to give him a good chance, One of these 3 cards is going to be Archangel Michael, and the other 2 will show me what he feels I need to focus on. So I turned them over. The very first card I drew was Archangel Michael.
I am not surprised.
The second card I drew was Archangel Michael. And the third card I drew was Archangel Michael.
Holy crap.
What I didn't realize, this is a deck of 50-something cards, but because Archangel Michael is so famous and popular and relevant, I guess, in the angel world on earth, we know of him.
Yeah.
He They're like 38 angels, but he's featured on 3 instead of
Oh my
1.
God, that is so
And I
okay.
pulled all 3.
All right, Krista, I love this.
So
I'm going to take you off
that's my
screen now,
story.
and I'm going to take you off screen, but
Yes.
we're going to wrap the
Bye.
perfect lesson. That is fabulous.
Yes.
Thank you,
So
thank you, thank you.
he can come to all of us.
Absolutely. And
Thank you.
okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And so I hope you can all see that the cards have so much more to teach us than what's on the face of them. And as I was listening to that, the human side wants to say, no, no, no sharing. We have to have a question. And I know all of you were like, no, she's not following the rules. And yet the whole time Spirit's saying, just listen, because it's perfect. Krista, that was beautiful, Krista, and beautiful sharing. But so the left brain right now wants to go, what are the odds of that, of the 3 Archangel Michael, right? And the whole significance of not believing and being led to that. And she just trusted. And it's the not knowing when you go into this. Please, that Spirit just said, don't go into it saying, I need this card to come on. Oh, yeah. Spirit says, if you put the cards to your human test and say, I have to pull this certain card, it will not work. That's the way of showing that that's not trusting. That's needing proof from the human level. Using the cards is about trusting. She, not knowing what's going to come up, she got more than she asked for. So perfect lesson in there for all of us in not saying I have to get this certain card, but knowing I will get the perfect card, just like in life, even if it's not what I thought I wanted. That's it. Ask, why did this particular card show up for me now? And notice how she didn't really trust, so she pulled 3 cards. She was aware she wasn't trusting. And Spirit really pulled out all the stops to say, next time, can you just pull 1, but you don't have to get a certain card? Can you all now simply trust that the perfect card is going to show up every time? Wow, so many lessons in the cards. And notice the lessons are not coming from the cards. They're coming through the cards as a tool. Where are these lessons coming from? Openness, awareness, the field itself. All right, Carla, you want to come on stage? Yeah, okay. Welcome to the show.
Hi, good afternoon, and happy birthday.
Thank you. Can you speak up as loud as possible and hold your device closer because you're really soft.
Okay, sorry, I'm on my iPhone. I would like to ask you 2 questions. One is about the difference between an oracle and a tarot card. Oracle, they are oracle or tarot cards. I don't know.
Okay,
the
one question at a time because I can't hold them both when I'm open like this. Tarot cards are oracle cards. So an oracle card is the whole category of cards through which you can discern a message. Notice I didn't say receives. It arises and you discern the card. So you could pull, I didn't bring my tarot deck in here. Yeah, it's back in the other room. But you can pull and just use the same method for tarot. I don't do spreads like the book says. I just will either shuffle or pull or whatever I'm guided to do, and it provides a message just as any of these cards. So that's that difference. And your second question?
My second question is, since I cannot still speak to my guides, I have only one oracle therapy angel card, and I shuffle while I pray, and then I do what you tell us to do while we're starting the meditation. I set my intention, and I ask the angels, angels, what do I need to know right now, in my highest good or the world highest good? Mm-hmm. And then, but I don't know which cards, because I still cannot, speak to them. Do I use my intuition? I don't know.
Okay, well, this is a great question because it answers a question a lot of people have. And a lot of people said, I don't hear from my guides. But this is, oops, he just dropped up the camera, but that's okay. We can answer the question because I know she's still there. Let me get back into that. Yeah, so many people say I don't hear from my guides, but your guides are answering through the card. And the thing is, we feel that our thoughts are simply our own thoughts. And when I go like this, that means from my own little Suzanne field right here, or state your name, your local field. But how else are your guides going to talk to you except through what many times feel like your thoughts? But if you can recognize that what arises in awareness is not necessarily your thought, you're not thinking it, it's arising because it's coming from something the guides are impressing upon you, you'll realize your guides are speaking to you through what you think are your thoughts. So don't think about it, just be open to what is the meaning here. Notice how your face doesn't scrunch up when you're thinking, right? It's just, what is the meaning here? And it suddenly appears as a thought, but whose thought is it? It is simply a thought in awareness. How does that feel to you? And then if you give credit to your guides, you'll start to realize and see how they're impressing certain thoughts through those cards and through so many other things that we do. So those were excellent questions. Thank you so much. Now we have a name here. I'm not quite sure about it without the glasses. That happened around age 40, by the way. Neha, you ready to come on the stage? All right, perhaps Neha. How are you?
Neha.
Neha.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm okay, and I'm very grateful for this. Thank you for everything you do, because all your free stuff, it helps someone like me who doesn't make a lot of money. So I have learned so much from you. I have a question. I hope it is relevant. It's when I have my cards and I'm doing a reading for someone else, sometimes the information comes and I can get precise answers. But then sometimes I'm looking at the cards and it is very hard. Is that me? Is it them? Or is it, I don't understand what happens. It really, that's for my confidence is not good.
That's true. I can understand that because I've been there. And this is the way consciousness flows. The connection with others is very dynamic. If you're doing readings for others, your energy field is going to be in a dynamic flow that's different from the day before, or even 2 hours before. If you did a reading for somebody 2 hours ago, something will have shifted. But then you also have the person you're doing the reading for. Their energy plays into this field that you're dancing in together. So sometimes it will flow beautifully if you're in this beautiful state of resonance with the person you're reading for. And other times, not saying they're not beautiful, but there may be something that's just not in resonance. So it's not going to flow the same. So what we do when we work with others is, and it's perfect for all of us, even if you're not doing readings, is learn to expand your field so that you're not so aware of your own energy. You just are in this beautiful, open, unrestricted state. And no matter what is present, no matter what another person's energy is like, you are open. And I say that word because it's a key to say over and over as silently as you're working, open. And that just requires you to what? Relax, let down, stop trying, right? And then as you're open, you'll notice, my human side is not happy with how this is going. It's causing me to constrict again. And then you open again. So this is training for you in saying, oops, I want this to go a certain way. I think, not feel, that this is not going well. That's simply an indicator I could be more open.
Okay.
So keep using that word and see how that changes things as you move forward, and the insights will flow better, even if you don't have the greatest resonance with the person you're with. Okay?
Thank you.
So it was very relevant. So thank you. All right. Bye-bye. Okay. Carrie, can't bring you on because it shows device not connected. Judith, I don't see a camera there. There you are. You want to come on camera? Where did Judith go? Nope, no camera. Hang on. Yes, we do. And she does want to come on. Great. I want to thank all of you in the chat for being part of our Sunday show. I just love the love that you share with us all here. Hi, Judith.
Hi, this is so fun.
Good.
So what I love the Oracle decks. I have the Priestess Oracle deck and Dragons. I'm a lover of dragons.
I have a dragon one here.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I don't use it that often. It was, again, gifted to me. So yeah.
Oh, they're a lot of fun. So I always thought you had to pull like 3 cards when you're
Ah.
pulling from the oracle, which gets to be a lot. So does Spirit suggest you only, excuse me, pull 1 card?
And
from
Spirit
you?
says you just answered your own question.
Oh.
It gets to be a lot, and that's a rule you're following. You always thought because somebody told you, right? Or you learned that. And
Watching
so
it from
this
someone
is
else.
this is the freedom method here right now, that you're going to be guided to pull 1 or as many as you're guided. So once again, how you use each card each time will and may change because, for example, in that moment that we were shown earlier, she pulled those 3 Archangel Michael cards because that had to happen for her huge opening, right?
That was
And it wouldn't
beautiful.
have happened if Suzanne Giesemann said you only pull 1, right? So I'm not going to tell you only pull 1. I'm going to say use every moment as maybe I do a whole spread today for the first time ever and see how they're all related. Won't that be fun, right? It's just
Okay.
be free.
Yeah.
Pull 1, pull 2, pull 3, but always do it as guided, because the exercise starts the moment you pull out the card. No, guide said it started the moment you had the idea to play with the cards.
I love them. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. That was
Thank
really
you.
helpful.
All right.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. And now that name looks unusual without glasses. It's unusual with glasses. Moosje. Moosje? Hi, how do you say your name?
Moshe, it is.
Moshe. Okay. Welcome to the show.
Yes. Thank you. I had a question. If you have the feeling that someone isn't feeling well or doing well, can you, if you want to write them a card or send them a message, can you pull a card for them? And if you can, to give them some encouragement or comfort. And if you can, how do you do that?
I'm smiling because you already know the answer. You know you did. Yeah. What is the answer?
Yeah, but I think if I pull a card, I have to have another intention if it is for someone else.
You already stated the intention in your answer. You're doing it for their greatest and highest good, right? Okay. And so when you come from that place in the heart, let me ask Spirit. Spirit says you don't need to say, I pulled a card for you and this is what I got. You're going to pull a card for the friend. You're going to hold the highest and greatest good, that message is going to be perfect for them. And as you pull it, it's not going to be a direct message for them. It's going to be for what message wants to come through you for them, right? So there's a little subtle difference there. And you're going to feel into it as already that person receiving this message, and it's going to be perfect. And it's going to come from the heart. So you use the exact same method, but you hold them in your heart as you ask for the message. And watch that human stuff, right? There's a tarot card called Death. This is a good time to bring that up, right? The human side might go, oh my God, it means they're going to die, right? We would never share that with somebody. But does it mean that? If you read the book about death, it does not mean somebody's going to die, right? So we would tune in on our heart. Oh, I'm feeling fear about whatever card came up. What if this is a bad message for them? But humans speak in terms of bad or good. Spirit speaks in terms of learning and growth and what needs to be known. So if you pull something like the Death card, you would say, Spirit, I'm afraid when I see this card, but why did this card come up as the perfect one for my friend now? What is the deeper message that will help them from this card? And you tune in, and it's going to turn out to be something positive and beautiful and helpful. And then that's great to share. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming on. I'll take a couple more. It's so funny when we started out, I said, Patty, nobody's in the waiting room. She said, oh, you always get plenty of people. And she's right. We could see you all lining up here, and I appreciate all of you. Is that Tammy? Tammy Janine. Great last name. All right. Oh, can you pull your mask off for speaking on camera?
I've got a health problem that is kind of disgusting for people to see, so
we'll feel your
try
heart.
to.
I honor
Yeah, look
that.
at
I just
my
know that when we see people without masks, it just transforms the whole way of being. So
I don't mind. I don't mind taking it off, but it
no,
just
you leave
looks
it on. It's not
so
necessarily.
gross.
Nope. We
But you
feel
can
your
see
heart.
my eyes. You can see my eyes.
That's perfect. What is your question today?
First of all, I love listening to your program, and I follow you for the last few years. I'm going through, as you see, a health issue that I think I'm at the end already of my, towards the end of my healing, self-healing. I'm doing it on my own. I don't have anybody that treating me. And the card you pulled out today, it laughed at me because I learned how to read the cards, and everything you said is absolutely right. And the one of the fool on the hill, first of all, it's always been the song that I loved of the Beatles, the fool on the hill. You know that
Yes, Fool on the Hill.
nobody
Mhm.
understands him when he's crazy. You know, but actually, he's the one who sees the truth and sees the reality as you should see it. That's the way I interpret it, as the foot on the hill that nobody knows. You know, they think he's crazy. Anyway, he's got a stick that he's starting a new journey that I started exactly on. You have happy birthday, 65. I started it on my 65th birthday 5 years ago.
Tammy, I'm going to interrupt you because I have people waiting with questions, but I know why you came on, and it may not be what you
Why?
thought. Okay.
Okay.
My initial reaction was, I want people to see your beautiful face, and I tried to say something like, take off this mask that you actually need. And I can feel that that was my heart trying to do that. But Spirit said, why you're really here is because healing takes place in miraculous ways. And we have hundreds and hundreds of people tuning in right now. And I'm going to use this moment, if we could, for everybody to realize that we're all healers, right? Everybody. When we go to the heart, Tammy, may we send you healing energy?
Sure. And I just want to tell you that lately I started to talk to Sanaya because of you. And he sent me messages that brought my spirit up. I can't explain. I was so down, and he just sent me crazy messages. I'm sure it's from him. I mean,
Beautiful.
I don't know. I just
Okay.
assume.
This is such a perfect opportunity for all of us to practice just sending love soul to soul, soul to soul. So I'm going to ask Sanaya to step in now. I was just told I get a gift on my birthday every year. And the gift this year was that I'll be doing more healing. Yeah, I said that wrong. We will be doing more healing as Sanaya does the healing through me. I will be the vessel for more of that. So the perfect timing. We're going to just take a moment. It's not the wild card moment yet. But everybody, if you join me, when we take our focus off of ourselves and send it to others who need healing, I have quite a few people in my mind right now who need this healing. And Tammy, right now, you're going to be one of them. I'd ask all of us to choose people in your life who need the cells of their vessels to come into balance and harmony. For that is what healing truly is. And when we realize that that same force flows through all of us, and when we bring it through us in a state of balance, sending it to those who may need that balance, healing takes place for all of us. So I'm asking Sanaya to step in, and I ask all of you to harness your God-given strength and powers of healing to bring in that healing energy now. You can use your hands if you'd like. I am. And we're all sending healing to the cells and every layer of Tammy's energy field, and to those particular to our particular lives. Beth, Tammy's last name is Wolf, and that's the connection with our dear friend Beth, who is receiving this healing now as well, and Mike, Wolf's dad. No coincidence. Healing is taking place, Sanaya says, as we all relax into receiving as good as we give. And it is done, Spirit says. So, Tammy, I'm going to take you off the stage because Spirit says we're going to leave it with that beautiful energy right there. And I thank you for giving us all that opportunity to let that beautiful power flow through all of us. Anybody that would like to share anything received in that moment or any healing that you're aware of, be sure to come back and put it in the comments on this show. Okay. We all learn and grow from that. I'm going to take one more question from a person in the studio, then we'll end with our wild card moment. All right. Ooh, that was powerful. Susan, you're our last guest today.
Hi.
Oh, you're that Susan. Hi, Susan.
Yes.
Saw you at Omega. How are you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I had a question about the subject, and I'm so glad to have seen that that's put on today because I had this question for so long.
No
My
kidding.
first time that I got a tarot card reading was absolutely amazing. I was in Key West at that square that overlooks the sunsets, and this tarot card reader gave me the most amazing reading, but it was all about Jim. It was all about, it was
Her
what
husband.
diagnosed Jim's health issues. And we went home after that trip and went to a whole series of doctors. But there was every single thing, and I think they did that Celtic Cross or whatever, that with a full spread. And every card, I wrote it all down and it was all about Jim. So my question was, is that like okay, normal, okay? Like
it's like when a medium does a reading and you bring through someone who hasn't died, but you're talking to their soul because they have a message that they needed to get through. They weren't dead. It wasn't your intention and you got that. Or yours, the example that you're giving is what is needed to come through in the moment happens. So the cards may have been about Jim, but you are a unit, the two of you. You needed to be part of knowing what was going on with his health. You as a unit went to the doctor, and that started that whole healing journey that he's on. That wasn't just about him. That was for you to know what's going on with him. See?
Okay. Thank you. Yes.
That's perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't look at it that way. Yeah.
All right. Hey. All right. Love to both of you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. This is a beautiful couple that actually lives right next to the town where I grew up. And it's so funny. My friend Patty here, we met each other just a few years back, and she and I lived in the same town where I grew up for quite a while. So let's do our wrap up today with our wild card moment. I hope you all, if you don't have oracle cards, will run out and get a deck. You can find them on, I'm sure, online. But even shopping for them is yet another opportunity to attune and practice going within and saying, look at all these beautiful decks. You can find them in any metaphysical store. Sometimes Barnes and Noble stores here in the States has them, or there's so many places to get cards. As you look at all the cards, which one are you drawn to? In other words, which one is speaking to you? Which one wants to be owned by you and used by you? You'll just know. You'll just know. And so it is fun to have more than one deck over time, so that then again, you use that attunement process to say, which card am I? Really? Okay. I thought I was going to use my favorite deck for our final wild card moment. And the Spirit says, then that's not a wild card, is it? And they want me to use this dragon deck, which I just is so not like me. I just don't use it that often. It came up from our guest earlier who says she has a dragon deck and dragon oracle cards. Why do I even have this deck? I'm not quite sure I remember. But again, we're going to ignore the book on top. Not that they're not good. We can go and look and see what the literal meaning is that applies to most people in most situations. That's when you'd use that. This will be fun, won't it? Spirit, notice how I'm using these. I would like, and I don't have to touch it and do a formal talk. I'm just doing that because that's what I'm being drawn to do. So that you all know we're holding the intention that the perfect card, even though I think this is silly, is going to come out for the whole group, whoever's watching live now or later. And again, I haven't drawn from this deck more than twice, I think. Yeah. So I don't even know what these cards consist of. One dragon, two dragons, meanings, messages, words. I have no idea. They're saying shuffle the deck. Right. So the skeptics, anybody tuning in knows that we're not doing this. All right. Patty, come over here a second, off camera.
Okay.
Cut the deck in half. There goes her hand. And we're going to take the card right under where she pulled it. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. Totally random. But the whole point of this show is nothing is random. Now, do you feel that little moment of anticipation? What's it going to be? That childlike sense of wonder is, goosebumps, part of the process. So I'm going to put my glasses on right away. Ready, ready, ready? And I think it's silly. Blue, that's why I'm laughing. Blue dragon from the Pleiades, which is a, Patty gasped. Okay, and the design, there's more words that I'll read in a minute. The design shows a blue rose, a bunch of stars and planets. This is an incredibly stylized dragon here. Kind of angular, kind of circular. I know the Pleiades is 7 sisters is the other name for that. And the message is, oh my God. Okay. Prepares you to accept source healing. What did we all just do? Tammy, I'm still looking at you on the screen there. Accept. Oh my God. Accept a heart activation. Give and receive heart healing. I could cry. We all just did that. And to some of us, we thought, oh, that's silly. That doesn't work. I can't do that. And I thought, is this really my birthday gift? Is this really, are people going to be healed? I have to trust. And look at the card. I think all of us can be healed by cards, one card at a time. Now I want to frame that one, right? But again, the perfect card will come up for you every time when you trust source and trust that source is guiding you moment by moment. Can you just celebrate the perfection that unfolded here today, from the fool at the beginning, seeing my human side, saying, am I going to make a fool out of myself, to opening, trusting, knowing. And that comes from the over 15 years of tuning in daily. When you have that commitment to spirit, and when you will sit quietly for at least 3 minutes a day, please read The Awakened Way, Making the Connection, Always Connected. My books show you the practices to attune in this way. It doesn't just happen from every once in a while you'll pull a card. It comes from a daily practice of creating openness. That's what will transform your life. And then when you're called to use a card, use a card. But the bottom line, the goal overall of creating stillness is to, like today's daily message, to tune in within and to receive guidance and to know you're always guided, because we are direct expressions of that source. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the daily messages, get the free Awaken Way app. Check out the free gifts on the gifts page at SuzanneGiesemann.com. If you like this show, please click subscribe if you haven't already, so that we get, the algorithm shows more people these videos that I hope you find helpful. Thanks to all of you who join us live every Sunday right here. I'm going to have more guests on in the future. We're going to go back to more of the live Q&A sessions where one of my team members asks me questions. What else am I forgetting to say? No, just what Spirit says all the time. You are so very loved. I hope you felt it today. I felt it for sure. I love you all, and we'll see you back here next Sunday. Bye-bye.